Joel Rubin is here. He's a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State in the Obama administration. Now, as we said, that Truth Social post just happened, so I hate to put you in the hot seat. But yeah, follow up on that. Wow. What are you thinking as the president makes this response?
Sure. I mean, what the president is basically saying is that he didn't buy what Iran was offering at the table. And what he's saying is that when he called for a deal that had zero enrichment, he felt like Iran's response was stringing them along, stringing us along. And there is some validity to that. Audie, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the nuclear watchdog of the whole global nuclear infrastructure around the world, they provided a censure resolution against Iran just yesterday.
Yeah, declaring it to be in breach of its nuclear non-proliferation obligations. So it has been for years continuing to enrich uranium. But that doesn't help us understand this moment when talks were set for this weekend, right? Oman called this reckless in this moment for Israel to do, given the talks. Did anyone have faith in these talks?
I think we're seeing no. And I think a big question is, were the talks a ruse? Quite frankly, look, when the president says what he said just now, and you combine that with the response from Israel and the response from the IAEA, one can only assume that the goals at the talks were so hard for Iran to meet that really the United States was just sitting there and legging out these discussions. There was not a deep, I have to say this, from looking back at Iran nuclear diplomacy for well over a decade, there was not a deep, detailed negotiation underway from the United States team. Unlike in the Obama administration, we had a 300-page nuclear deal with Iran that was very annotated and very specific. And so I really am questioning whether or not there was really going to be detailed negotiations. It was either Iran, get rid of your nuclear infrastructure, or we're going to let the Israelis bomb.
What are you going to be listening for now? I assume in Iran, we're talking about retaliation, but they also lost several military leadership. You have hardliners in that government that are only strengthened in this position. So what are you listening for?
Yeah, look, the response right now has been very modest. Israel clearly had a plan, and that plan was to prevent Iran from retaliating strongly. There's also a major fog of war inside Tehran by decapitating Iran's military leadership, which is what Israel did.
Meaning we don't totally know what's going on just yet.
We don't know, and we don't know, and the Iranians probably don't know either, and they're all probably wondering who's going to be targeted next. So this is where Israel has a very open window, but not a very long window to try to strike as much as they can. The big question is going to be, are these effective strikes? That's been the debate all along. What's the best way to constrain Iran's nuclear program? Diplomacy has always been thought as the fail-safe, but if the strikes go forward, we need to make sure that we know what happened, because after strikes, diplomacy seems very unlikely.
Okay, Joel Rubin, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State.